Is this thing working? Yo, can anyone hear me? Am I good audio wise? Jesus, man, I just needed to get on here live because that game, I don't know what that game was. It was embarrassing. It was a disgrace all around, but just wait. I'll just wait a couple minutes. Yeah, such a disgrace. It was such a disgrace to watch this game. So this is my first live stream. It's good to have everyone here. Holy, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to just talk to the people. I feel like, man, I needed to hear the faithful's pulse after this one because I don't know what I saw today. Seriously, it was just bad out the gate. You know, I guess I can start with the corner Brian Allen starting over Akello Witherspoon, which looks like a baffling move now that the game's over. Just the kid was not ready to play. That was embarrassing within itself. And as a coach, how do you allow a corner coming off the practice squad? Granted, Niners are banged up, granted, but you had to see him in practice and kind of figure out that he wasn't ready to go. And he's facing very good wide receivers in the Dolphins. The Dolphins have good wide receivers. Hasn't played since I think 2018, and yeah, man, that was embarrassing. Credit the Dolphins. They just kept targeting him, and why wouldn't you? The Niners literally had no answer for him for this Dolphins offense, and that was the first baffling move. It was truly embarrassing. Tank for Trevor. I know. I mean, there's going to be a lot of takes on how this went, and this is one of those games that you look at it and you're just like, where do the Niners go from here? Because Jimmy Garoppolo gets benched. I mean, holy crap. That I did not see that coming. When you have your franchise quarterback, right? Franchise quarterback at the time, benched for CJ Beathard, who was third string. I mean, people wanted him cut from the team. Yeah, that's not a good look. It's not a good look for Garoppolo. It's not a good look across the board as an organization. That was embarrassing, the way Garoppolo played. I mean, and it wasn't injuries. Like, stop saying it was his ankle. He's not 100%. I mean, at this point, you are what you are, Garoppolo has been inaccurate. He hasn't played well all year outside of that quarter against the Jets. But holy crap, man. That was brutal to watch. And yeah, man, Shanahan has a lot of blame on this one as well. Coaching staff, the way they operated in this game was weird. I mean, first you bring in Brian Allen, right? The corner, and basically have him replace Akello. If Akello was ready to go, I would assume Akello Witherspoon would have started, but they went with the practice squad player, and it just ended up biting them in the butt. And then Dante Pettis, for some reason, is still on the team. Healthy scratch in this game. Kevin White, another receiver from the practice squad, was able to come in. And, just a lot of questionable moves. Offensive line, I mean, terrible again. Trent Williams, again, there has to be some miscommunication between this offensive line unit because, again, the left side with Lake and Tomlinson and Trent Williams, they're just not vibing right now. And it's really who really gets hurt in this are the quarterbacks. Not giving them enough time, and then, they're just a sitting duck back there. Yeah, I mean, where do the Niners go from here, right? With quarterback, I would assume you have to just go with CJ Beathard. I mean, seriously, how do you go back to Garoppolo? I mean, that's crazy. I don't even know what the final score was. I mean, I just kind of stopped. Let's see. 43-17. Yeah, I just want to go eat. After a while, just like, start hanging out with family. But defense too. I mean, all across the board, there was no like silver lining in this game. Defense really struggled, and no pass rush, struggled in coverage. Yeah, they took they took Jimmy out to protect them. I think mentally more than anything than physical. I think it was just a mental, you know, sub them out type of game. But honestly, you know, it also has me question whether Garoppolo will be back next season because, if you pull him out at the half, that has to say more about Jimmy than anything else. And I don't know. We'll hear from Shanahan, I believe, right now or during the game. I mean, during the week, but I just can't see how the team can get behind a guy who just got benched. I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, the two picks that Garoppolo threw were bad. I mean, I can see why Shanahan pulled the trigger, but again, it's just like Garoppolo's not even putting a lot of, you know, I guess he's not putting his feet under him when he throws. He's just throwing like off his back foot like he always does. And it just seems like ever since that injury, he hasn't had the confidence to deliver a good down the field throw. Like that has been his weak link, you know. Um, Offensive line is trash, and it's one of the things, breaking camp that I said, well, they haven't really, outside of Trent Williams, they haven't really picked up anyone from a draft standpoint. I mean, they did get what is it, Colton McKivitz, the tackle, out of West Virginia, but outside of that, there wasn't a lot of movement there. And now the release of Mike Persons is huge because I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, we probably need him right now. So Niners just didn't improve offensive line wise, and that's coming back to bite them. Yeah, I'm pissed too. It's crazy the way they came out and played. They're we can all agree they're not as great as they were last year, obviously, throughout 5 games. But I don't think they're as bad as they played this today. They can't be as bad as they played today. I mean, seriously, the Dolphins, you're going to let the Dolphins roll you? That is crazy to me. How can that happen? you know? Part of it is coaching staff. You have to have your players ready, but I don't think they're to the point where they're 43-17 bad. Dolphins aren't really a good team. They just got rolled. Yeah, I mean this is the Niners they had to win this game, right? To be competitive. But not only do you lose a game, but the way you lost it just makes me think, are they tanking? You know? Did the coaching staff just say, we have too many injuries, we're not going to be able to compete at a high level. Let's just put in some of these backups, see what they can do. That's the only reasoning I can think of, because the moves they've made, bringing in, again, cornerback Brian Allen off the street, basically practice squad, bring him in and basically start him over Akello Witherspoon, is just a head scratcher all around. Yeah, I mean, well, the tanking part of it is, obviously draft capital. Another part is you'll have a reason to get rid of the contracts, those big contracts coming up. I mean, D Ford hasn't done anything; he's still hurt. Garoppolo's still going to take a lot off the cap. So I'm just, I'm obviously just trying to get an understanding, but all the moves that they've made point to a direction that makes me think they're not ready to compete this year. They're looking forward to 2021 or something. Yeah, that defensive line, there's no real true edge rushers, right? Kerry Hyder Jr. is really a bright spot there. But outside of that, in terms of edge, I mean, heck, did Eric Armstead even play? I mean, I didn't even see him make a play. I don't know. The whole time I was just pissed off. So he might have made some plays. I'd have to kind of rewatch it. But holy crap, there's no excuse. Niners just got rolled. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the scary defense. I mean, obviously, injuries happen. When both your corners go down and you're playing with no edge rushers, essentially, things like that do happen. But the way they lost is just inexcusable. You can't lose that way. That's embarrassing. Where's the pride? Yeah, the schedule definitely gets tough. Next, like 8 games, 7 games are brutal. Yeah, I wouldn't say they go 2-14. I feel like the 49ers identity is changing and they don't know how to adjust. The 49ers identity like last year was, okay, put pressure on the quarterback, rush the quarterback, run the football, play action, you know, all these crossing routes. And they didn't really have to rely on the secondary that much, at least to guard a player more than 3 seconds, because then Bosa was in some quarterback's face. Now, though, that's changing. And you can see that the Niners don't really have a counter right now. They should be a team that controls sort of the clock, run the football, but they can't really do that right now because the offensive line is shot. They can't block nobody. Yeah, that this was embarrassing. Ryan Fitzpatrick really just lit everyone up. You know, is something that just can't happen. And I tweeted something out like it's a shame that fans weren't at the game because they really needed to hear it. They needed to hear those boos coming from fans because that's kind of the performance they put out. Did everyone see that Dak Prescott injury? That's gruesome, gruesome injury. That kind of took my mind off the game a little bit, but it was right back to the Niners. Yeah, disappointing, I think is the right word. Um, again, I have trouble blaming this loss on injuries that the Niners have because the way they lost, they just didn't show up. Um, the Niners are at full strength on offense and was only able to generate 17 points at home. Um, that's inexcusable, you know. And some of that it's on the players, but a huge part of that is also on coaching. You got to have your players ready to go. Yeah, I don't even think the Rams looked this bad last year. But yeah, I mean the Niners are looking like the worst team in the division, and they're at 2-3. Look, this is going to be a team that may surprise some folks. I mean, they're not going to be. I don't think they're a 500 team, maybe 7-9, but they're going to surprise some teams. You know, there might be weeks where they bring their A game, but you know, this is now the second week in a row they come out flat, and this week they just got steamrolled. So at some point, you are what you are. You are what your record is. Niners are 2-3. There's really, no excuse this time. Niners were full squad offensively. Defensively, I mean, you still have injuries, but you have to put up more than 17 points. You have to, eventually stop people on third downs and then stop committing all of these defensive penalties that keep drives alive. Yeah, Joe Staley was even asking that. What the hell was that? Yeah, exactly. I mean, even Joe can't believe it. He knows the characters that are in this locker room, and he's even like, "What am I watching?" I think every Niner fan is that way. We just weren't used to this, you know. The team just came out flat, and they weren't ready to play. I didn't see, outside of Fred Warner, just show some heart, show some dignity. Yeah, every team that we've played this year has feasted on the Niners. Like they feasted on sacks. That's never a good thing. If every team comes here and just puts up like 4 to 5 sacks a game, like that just points to your offensive line, your protection. What are you doing wrong? And so yeah, I believe the Dolphins got like 5 sacks in this game. Brutal. I'm still gonna watch the games. I'm still gonna be here. You know, Niner fan for a long time now. 28 years old for about 20 plus years now. I'm not going to go nowhere. But, we have high expectations of this team and this coaching staff. And, we just didn't expect them to get rolled like that. Yeah, it's my first time doing a live stream. I may be able to do these on a weekly basis. If if you guys are going to show up, I'd be happy to do them after games. But just wanted to test it out to see how live streams work here on YouTube. And so yeah, like I need to get stuff out my chest. Like this game just took me through the ringer. It really did, guys. I did not expect one. I did not see this one. I mean, I honestly saw it the other way. I thought the Niners were really going to blow this team out, come out with with a fire lit under them, but I did not see this coming. Wow. Thank you, Crystal Pepsi. What else? What else we got? Outside of watching other games, I'm probably not going to watch any other games. I mean, I can't watch this Sunday night football game, Seattle versus the Vikings. I just can't watch more football right now. Let's look at the stat sheet just for giggles, I guess. Yeah, the Raiders beat the Chiefs. Really a good performance by the Raiders. I really liked the way they played. They were able to get some pressure on Mahomes, force him to some tough throws, and offensively they performed well, running the football. And Henry Ruggs looks like a baller. Yeah, a lot of people are saying we got outcoached. I kind of lean that way too. I mean, for the second week in a row, Shanahan wasn't able to maybe adjust. I don't know. They're really putting some pressure on the quarterback, and part of it is O-line can block, but teams are just going to keep blitzing until the Niners can stop that or at least slow it down. Yeah, it is a sad day. Sad day. Niners were able to generate 2 sacks, one for Quan, another one for Kerry Hyder, 5 sacks for the Dolphins. Great. Yeah, we lost the turnover battle by a lot. Obviously, 2 interceptions for Beathard, 0 interceptions for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Just had a lot of time in the pocket. Let's see, rushing 131 yards as a team for the 49ers. Yeah, Miami didn't even rush the football all that much, at least. They had 94 yards, but the passing is where it was at, 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. Are we pretenders again? A lot of people are going to say that now. A lot of people are going to say that. I don't think. Look, the Niners aren't as bad as they were today, and they're just not as good as they were in MetLife earlier in the year. I think they're an average, maybe a slightly below average team due to injuries, due to players regressing. Quarterback and offensive line, obviously, are areas where the Niners regressed. And that trickles down across the board. And so here we are. I'm still baffled that Ahkello Witherspoon didn't start. That baffles me. How does that happen? I need an explanation. I'll hear one hopefully pretty soon. I'll go back and watch the press conference from Shanahan. Alrighty, any questions? I'll take some questions. You guys got me live. That's what the Niners did to me today. Just had me roll out and went live with it. I couldn't wait to make the video. I just had to roll it out. Yeah, biggest draft needs. Well, I think it depends where the coach's mind's at. If they think Garoppolo's the one, then I think you'll have to first focus on offensive line. Go heavy there because you may need a new right tackle. Mike McGlinchey he has his moments, but he's just inconsistent. And then guards, you need new guards and centers. So I'll focus there first. And then we'll have to go corner because if you know the Niners secondary, I believe the only one returning is Jimmy Ward. That's the starter now. Everyone else is like, I believe their contract ends at the end of this year. Sherman, Okello, I think Mosley, Tart. So the Niners may have a completely new secondary next year. So you'll have to get a corner. I think at linebacker, you're pretty solid. Defensive line, you may need another edge because I don't think D Ford's going to be back. Do we resign Sherman? I don't know. I'd love Sherman to be back. I think Sherman is a great leader, and I think that leadership is really missing this entire season. I mean, you have these young guys just playing like they don't know where they're supposed to be at. So I think for that value, you may have to resign Sherman, but we'll see. Yeah, they'll need one. They'll need a new secondary, just based off of the numbers game. Guys, what's the possibility of us re-signing all these guys back? I mean, it's very slim. So, you think about Tart, he may want some money, and the Niners may not have the cap space to re-sign him. And then you look at who will line up if we re-sign Sherman, who's going to line up across from him. So it's going to be different. I think it is. Let's see. Just reading what the heck is happening in Niners Twitter world. CJ Beathard was taking some shots down the field, which I appreciated at least. Players we let go during the off season to fit salary caps. An obvious one would be D Ford. I don't know what the cap hit is on some of these players, but D Ford is an obvious one. You look at Garoppolo, you'll have to make a decision. Do you if he's your franchise quarterback, are you gonna take that on? What else? Who else? I don't know what Quan Alexander's contract situation is right now, but I'd assume if he takes a huge cap hit next year, yeah, you may have to consider that. Considering Dre Greenlaw is looked at by some folks as the better linebacker. So season is over, right or right. Yeah, I mean, the season is the season, is over for the Niners. Maybe, I never count it out until, the numbers say we're officially out. Just got to keep on pushing. We've seen crazier things, but this I guess this game just everyone just lost hope, and that's kind of the sad part. Yeah, I love Dre Greenlaw. Um, I think that he eventually does replace Quan Alexander whenever that does happen. Um, but just him and Fred Warner. Eventually, you'll have to pay Fred. Um, that's going to be a nice tandem going forward. Like I said, the Niners will surprise some teams. You know, I don't think they're as bad as this game. This is, I mean, it's not a fluke. The Niners are what they are, but they're going to be a team that, Rams come into town. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Rams next week. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Saints, Green Bay, but they are going to lose more than they win, unfortunately. So that's kind of where we're at. But down, like, once you get into like week 14, week 15, when teams are really battling for a playoff spot and they come across the Niners, you might see some upsets. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I would think Shanahan will have to roll with CJ Beathard next week. I can't see Garoppolo starting anytime soon. And then once Beathard stinks it up, maybe we'll go back to Garoppolo. I just don't know. That's the thing. Niners are week to week in terms of who's starting at quarterback. It might be even Mullins, for all I care. We're back to CJ. Who would have thunk it? CJ Garoppolo took CJ's spot when CJ got hurt back in 2017. And now today, CJ took Garoppolo's spot just by bad play. Niners just made a complete full circle in a span of 4 years. Yeah. I just don't know what happened with the offensive line. Tackles specifically. Mike McGlinchey all year has kind of been inconsistent. Has some good reps, has some tough ones. Trent Williams, the past 2 weeks, I'd say, has struggled. And then the guards, right and left guard, has struggled all year. And center, um, I mean, it's hit or miss, but it's not as big of a concern as the guards. I feel like we should go get a beer. Jeez, I think everyone just needs a beer. I hope everyone here is over the age to drink, but I'm saying we just need to take a chill pill. It's going to be a long season, faithful. Just hang on. Yep, that's what we do. Just play the season. Oh, you guys are hilarious. All right, what else? What else can we talk about? Um, did the Browns win today? Let's see. The Browns beat the Colts. Unbelievable. They're 4-1. How about that? Embarrassing loss for those of you just joined us. Embarrassing loss for the Niners. Rough one. horrible across the board, all phases and coaches. Just terrible decisions were made. It led to a brutal loss. Yeah, that Dak injury it was gruesome. Really feel bad for him. And this was his contract year, so you know, how does Jerry Jones feel not paying him now? Um, the Cowboys are in a, you know, I they had this division kind of handed to them, and they didn't take that um, to their advantage. So I think it's the Eagles to lose now. We're going live, boys and girls. Sorry. Then we, then the other thing is the release of Mohamed Sanu. Like, man, I don't understand why Dante Pettis is still on this team. Yeah, Dak's gruesome injury. And it was nice to see Alex Smith back today, by the way. Though, scary moments because honestly, Aaron Donald was just living in the backfield. But it was nice to see Alex Smith um, back in at quarterback. But Dak, man, I just feel bad for him. I don't understand like what Dante brings to the table anymore. You're not playing him. He was a healthy scratch today. You know, that's rough. That's a rough one. And this has been talked about all off season, and just to see it turn out worse, it goes back to coaching staff. Why are you making this decision now? Like, what's going on? Yeah, this was a rough outing for not only Shanahan but Saleh, Robert Saleh. Yeah, a lot of people just make fun of Dante for calling fair catch. Listen, I'm sure he's a great dude. Whenever we talk about players, it's not about their character; it's always about their play. Um, but yeah, at this point, you can't really defend Dante Pettis. He has really not contributed since week 4 of 2019. Um, watch the NFL games. I'm sure YouTube will kick me out if I blast it on here, but like I said, I'm pretty much done watching football games today. I don't. I think Seattle beats the Vikings. Yeah, he had a great rookie season. Remember, a lot of people thought he was going to be wide receiver one. I think I was one of those people who were really impressed his rookie season. I think he came on strong. And then I don't know what happened. Like, he just fell off from the face of the earth. And hasn't really contributed. Obviously Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't trust him, doesn't throw his way, doesn't even look his way. But it's not even about that. He just doesn't get any reps. And the Niners were injured to start the year at wide receiver. You would think, okay, Dante Pettis, time to shine, baby. Nope. Yeah, it's just been a brutal train wreck. But I mean, it's just at some point I need to make a video of one of like the worst moves John Lynch has made and the best moves. Because Pettis, drafting Pettis, like even what was he, a second round pick? A lot of people were surprised when they got him in the second round. They thought they could have got him third, fourth round. They moved up and got him. Oh yeah, I watch Niner games. Some people are okay. Oh yeah, drafting Thomas instead of Watson or Mahomes. That's gonna always come back to haunt them. Um, considering Mahomes, it's a baller now, face of the NFL. Dak's already going through surgery. That is quick. They're getting to it. Garoppolo just wasn't having any of it today. Um, just simply, he was flat-footed, underthrowing passes, overthrowing, led to interceptions. This is why he's being benched. This is why he got benched. Um, it sucks. Full squad on offense was here, did not execute. Well, we can already imagine Mahomes in sort of this offense because Andy Reid is just brilliant at how he runs his offense. But Watson needs to get out of Houston. Somehow we can convince them for that trade. Niners should jump all over that. I think Jimmy was healthy, is healthy. I just think that for whatever reason, you know, guys ain't protecting. You have defensive linemen in your face. You're gonna play a little shaky. Yeah, pretty easily. I'm sure. Uh, I would do that trade in a heartbeat, but they're not gonna do it. That's the problem. They won't do it. Now Bill O'Brien is out of there. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan just said there's no magical thing you can say when you play like that. No kidding. I mean, we're gonna quickly learn what this team's about in the next few weeks. You lose great players across the board, you lose part of your leadership, but we're gonna learn a lot about the Niners' character here within the next couple of weeks to see how this team will respond to something like this. And that's mainly the silver lining for the season. Niners, I don't think makes this a playoff run, but we'll see how they respond. Yeah, I can't be a GM or head coach. I talk too much crap during game days. I'm a terrible player evaluator, clearly. This is why I'm on YouTube. All right, everyone. Well, this was my first live stream. Let me know if you guys would want me to keep this thing going for the season. I'd be glad to do it. And it was great chatting with everyone. Brutal loss again, but I think I got most of it off my chest. Thank you, everyone, to just supporting the channel, subscribing, leaving your comments. It means a lot. I'll definitely be doing a giveaway here coming up. Like I pointed out earlier, I have stickers and magnets that I've ordered, and I'd love to just, start off. I do plan to sell them in the future, but just start off by giving back to everyone that's kind of just been supporting. So I'll let everyone know about the the giveaway here in the near future. But appreciate everyone. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.